I did with Cheltenham recently, which was watching it on live stream. Now, the Cheltenham meeting that we just had was the first one I've ever watched on live stream. So it was interesting to be able to draw a contrast between that and quite a number of meetings before that I've actually attended with Kerry and some where I just went along on my own. And the difference is actually staggering. One of the first things was actually some technical glitches and that kind of thing. I went onto the live stream sort of early on in the meeting. It was very, very difficult to hear anything that was being said by anybody. And I actually went to the point of actually sending Michael Katcar himself a private message on Facebook. So Michael, is there any way I can get the sound turned up? Now, unfortunately, he didn't get my message until after the meeting. And he actually did then send me a personal apology, bless him. But yeah, it's just simple glitches like that. I know John, one of my team members, was unable to get on there because of problems with his own internet. So straight away, there is that possibility you might not get the best out of it simply because of technical glitches. That side, I managed to plug my computer into my stereo, so I was able to hear in the end, so that helped. But there's so many other things with actually going to a meeting compared to the live stream. When you do it on the live stream, you don't get to have those conversations with other team members. When we went to Epsom recently, we were able to have a bit of a chat with Emma for a while, a little bit of a chat with Laura West, who was sitting next to us. So in between sort of speakers and things going on there, you get to know your team members a little bit more just simply by being there. And you can't do that on the live stream. It's just not possible. So we missed out on that, obviously, with Cheltenham, simply because we weren't actually there. And then there's that time before the meeting or after the meeting or during the lunch break where you can go to the various trade stands. You've got Knowledge is Everything. They're there selling books, the development books that we all need to sort of be working from. There was some accountants there. Kerry needs to sort of get registered with all of that because we've been doing it through my self-employment, but now we're sort of moving that. So it's nice to be able to talk to an accountant sort of face-to-face while we were there. And there's various things you can buy like flyers and car stickers and things like that as well. So well worth going on just to be able to go to those. You don't get to actually meet and talk to high-earning people. When we go to an actual meeting, we've spoken to people like Tracy Payne and Harvey Kent. We've talked to people like Helen and Paul Allgood that Emma was just mentioning. And it's just nice to be able to meet all those people and actually be able to speak to them and just pick their brains. Michael Katcar saying is get them in a corner, and he's so right. I go to a lot of other meetings. I go to a meeting down in Kent on a regular basis, which is a business opportunity meeting. And there I've met people like Richard Chandler, I've met Peter and Jackie White and people like that. And it's just fantastic to be able to talk to those people. And again, just watching it on a computer, you don't get that opportunity. You miss out on all of that. You don't get to sit in the pub with people like Helen and Paul Allgood afterwards, which we did after Epsom. So again, it's fantastic to be able to do that. Again, you had Harvey Kent and Tracy Payne there. Monica Dolman's there, who's been on a couple of the bigger network webinars and that kind of thing. So again, you're getting to meet those sorts of people, which is fantastic. And you're sitting around in the pub afterwards, you've got much more time to actually sit there and talk and digest what's being said. So there's that kind of thing as well. If there's the tombola thing, which there generally is at the meetings, in most cases you've got to actually be there to be called up and have a chance of sort of winning one of the well, let's call it a holiday, but we call it a conference, don't we? But if you've got to actually be there in most cases, now I know that at Cheltenham this wasn't the case because they've been spread around the country, but with the Birmingham meetings we do, if you're not there, you can't win it. So, you've got to be there for those sorts of things. And then you just miss out on the whole buzz of seeing team members going up on stage. We saw Vicky and we saw Laura West and Natalie, I think it was, all going up on stage there. We've seen people going up on stage there at these meetings, which is fantastic. You can get up, you can give them a clap, give them a bit of a cheer and that kind of thing. On the live stream, it's great. It's lovely to see people going up there. It's like, yay, but I can't really sort of yell that across to the stage and let them know that we're rooting for them. So it's fantastic to actually be there just for those sorts of things. So there's lots and lots of reasons really why you need to be there. But this, for me, the next one I'm about to say is actually the overriding one. I found that watching it on the live stream is a bit like watching a rock concert with a little portable TV. If you want to watch, I don't know, Queen or some big group on stage and you go to the event, you get that buzz, you get that atmosphere, you get that excitement. But if you're watching it on a teeny tiny little computer screen, well then it's just like it's watching Queen on your little portable TV. You're just not getting that buzz and excitement. And that buzz and excitement of seeing somebody go up on stage, you're hearing their story, people like Mike Bibby perhaps, and you hear the story that they've had. I think to actually see them go up there, to feel the excitement in the room and think, yeah, if they can do that, we can do that. For me, that is perhaps the biggest thing about actually being there. It gives you that belief that such things are possible for normal people. You can actually meet and see. It's different on the screen. You don't sort of get the idea that these are just normal people. But when you're there, you can talk to them afterwards. That's what you're getting. If these people can do it, you know what? So can we. So for me, that's what this chat was all about. It's just the difference between actually being there and being on a live stream. I don't think I've got too much more to say, so I'll pass you back to Emma.
Thanks, Carl. That was really, really good insight, and I completely second everything that you've said there. And I can see from the comments in the chat that everybody who's been at the live events is saying exactly the same. The thing for me, in addition to all of the things that Carl said there, I remember at my first ever showcase event, and there are thousands of people at those. I can remember looking around the room. I was there on my own, no team members, like most of you guys will be at your first event. And I looked around the room and saw all these thousands of people, and they were all obviously part of a little team, either them plus one person or, part of a team of 10. And it was just little gaggles of people. And I just looked around and I thought, wow, all of the people in this room have been introduced to this business by somebody. So if thousands of people think that this is a good enough idea to all congregate in this room, surely I could find a couple that would join my team, because they're going to join somebody. That was it opened my eyes to the possibilities. But yeah, there's nothing like being at them, and it really does put a spring in your step for the next month. But like anything else, it's like washing. You've got to go to them every month. You can't get to a live event, a Clean Easy live every month, because they're not on every month. But in terms of the workshops and the things that we're going to look at later on, it's like Zig Ziglar says, you don't wash and then never wash again. You've got to keep doing it. It's a good idea. That's why we do it regularly. So it's a monthly thing to keep you on track, really. So let's just bring up the slides again. And we're going to whiz through. We're going to whiz through an overview of the 10 steps now, because it's actually ages since we've done this, and we sort of cover different steps on these webinars, but it's been a while since we actually did a full overview of the actual 10-step process to building this business. So first of all, let's start with why. The whole point of this 10 steps training system that we are all following is to develop an income of £1,200 plus per month. Now, I don't know, is there anyone on here tonight who is in any way interested in making that sort of money, working part-time on this business? That was very quick. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Brilliant. I'm in the right place then. Okay. This system will show you how to achieve the level of what's called bronze executive distributor. Okay. Now this is where your income is up at about £30,000 a year. Okay. So who would be interested in that? Let's move things on a stage. Who would be interested in that? Bearing in mind, this is a part-time income. And at this point, yeah, quite a few yeses. At this point, the income is almost entirely residual, which means that you'll be earning it whether you get out of bed in the morning or not. Now, here is how it is done, okay? So it starts with you. So if you call yourself that 10 active wide circle in the middle there, you are looking to create a business of your own, 10 active wide. We're going to look at exactly what that means in a moment. And then you just need to find two people who want to do the same. Do you think it is possible that you might find two people in the whole of the UK, Ireland and Spain who might be interested in building themselves an income of £1,200 per month, part-time, working it around their job and other commitments? Yeah, I don't think anyone would say no to that if the opportunity is presented to them in the right way. The chances are, and this is quite honestly now, the chances are that amongst your own friends and family, there are two people right there, sitting there, who could fill those circles. They just don't know it yet, and you don't know it yet. Here's the thing, that you don't know which ones it's going to be, so never prejudge. Talk to everybody about the business. So 10 active wide will get you to gold, okay? So you're looking for 10 people to build a gold business. Remember the pay plan that we saw? That's where your turnover as a group is over £9,000 a month, and you will be earning £1,200 plus on a monthly basis there. So it's you plus 10 people doing the same as you, okay? So you've got to look at what you're doing. You don't have to answer this in the chat, but think about it yourself. If you had 10 people in your team doing exactly what you were doing, would you have a turnover of £9,000? If the answer is yes, brilliant. You are doing the right things. If the answer is no, you've got a little bit to work on, okay? So just know where you're at in the business. Okay, so we've got 10 steps to get there, okay? Step 1 is just the system. So it's knowing that there is a system. Now the system is totally duplicable, okay? That's the important thing about this, that you can read it from the workbook. There's a website there that you can go to. It's showing you exactly what you need to do. It's the blueprint for success. So you can go to the website, www.10steps, the10steps.info, number as in the digits, 10. Go there, we'll put it on the group later on, and start working through the 10-step success system. There is a video for each step. There is a manual, a workbook to download. You can read it cover to cover, and I suggest you do, and then just start working through each step properly. So get an overview of it, and then just start working through each step. Now, this system will work for you regardless of your background, your experience, your age, where you are in the country, whether you're rich, whether you're broke. It's all completely irrelevant. The thing that is going to develop you a business is just your ability to follow the system, okay? So it's a retail-driven plan. Everyone has to be retailing. So you need to make sure that you're doing enough so that you can follow this system. The system is based on everybody in it doing about £1,000 in personal retail, so that you're generating sufficient income for yourself. And as you'll see when you look in the manual, it's built on investing a small amount of your retail profit back into your business every month. That is to develop for yourself a residual income. So that means an income where you no longer have to work for it. It is carrying on paying you, okay? And the video that we showed just before this webinar started with Rob Foster going through the circles, if that is new to you or you didn't see that, you need to go to our training website, inspiredgroupresources.co.uk, go on the sponsoring section and watch that video. It's absolutely key that you understand how this business can provide you that sort of residual income. So here's what the website looks like, and you can see you've got the workbook there. There's a script book which everybody who's in the ad pool will know about, because that's what we use to deal with our inquiries. And of course you've got all of the information there about the workshops and the system itself. Now, step 2 is personal and professional development. And I'm delighted to say that lots of the people in this team are readers and watchers of great information. I know lots of you are subscribed to your Darren Hardy daily emails. I know lots of you are reading books at the moment. We've talked lots about it in our one-to-ones recently, and that is absolutely brilliant. And it's no surprise that it's those people whose businesses are moving forward, and they're the ones that are earning the really good money. So you've got to get into the personal development, okay? It's going to teach you about the business, professional information. Sorry. There's professional information about the network marketing industry. There's lots of books recommended on the 10 Steps website that will give you a great introduction to network marketing so that you can start to understand the industry. And there's a heap of books on there as well that will actually, in many cases, be completely life-changing. I know that, oh, that's brilliant, Vicky, you're reading it. Yeah, it is a great book. Yeah, I'm so glad you're reading that one. Yeah, some recommendations there from the 10 Steps team. Also speak to your Gold Upline, because they will be able to recommend books or audios or YouTube videos that can specifically help you with where you are at in the business right now to move things on. So do get involved in the personal development. Getting along to the meetings is personal development as well. Being at the workshops, at the live events, being around positive people, learning from the speakers on the stage. So it's all about developing yourself. Step 3 is goal setting and planning. So we talk a lot about this on our webinars. You need to have some goals, even if they're really small at the beginning, it doesn't matter. We talk a lot about it on our induction webinars as well, but you've got to know where you're headed. Otherwise, you might just flounder around. It's like getting in a car and not knowing where you're going. You just end up anywhere, don't you? So you've got to have some goals, and the workbook has a brilliant section on setting goals. It really does help you to start to think about what you want from the business and what you want out of life. It's an interesting fact that most people never set goals. Most people, the only goal that they have is kind of booking their holiday for the year. That's all the planning and goal setting goes into that, but not about their actual lives and where they want to be in 1 year or 5 years or 10 years time. So it's really important to sit down and work on goal setting and planning. Of course, the planning comes from having the goal. Once you've got the goal, you can work with your sponsor to set some real tracks for getting there. Step 4 is lead generation. Now, these are all in order, okay? So first of all, start with the personal development, step 2, okay? It underpins everything else. Step 3, you've got to have some goals. And then step 4, this is where the kind of the planning really comes into fruition. You have to know your numbers and you have to be generating inquiries about the business. So we talk a lot, there's a lot of training out there on how to generate the correct number of leads. We've got lots of ways that we do that using Facebook, social media, internet sites. There's of course the ad pool that we've spoken about earlier on. You can reinvest some of your retail profit into lead generation by paying into the ad pool. So if you're short on time, particularly, that is a great way to have a guaranteed number of leads coming through your business. But you've got to know what you need to be doing. The numbers are so important, so you've got to track. So you need to know, we do a full training on knowing your numbers, so I can't go through all of them, but if you're building a team, then you need to be generating 50 leads a week. That's 50 inquiries about your business. If you are working online and wanting to sell the products on Facebook, you need to be posting 3 products in 50 groups every day as a minimum. If you're doing catalogues, you need to be either presenting 100 to 150 every week, or you need to be letterboxing 400 to 600 every week. It's just the numbers, okay? We didn't make them up, we just know that they work. So track your numbers, get the numbers where they need to be, and then keep working on them, keep tracking them. Tracking is a massive, massive part of any business, and this one is absolutely no different. So if you know that you're doing the right level of activity, you can predict your outcome. And so can we as well. That's why we always ask you, how many posts have you done? You know, these questions come because we're trying to help, and the only way we can help as a sponsor is to know exactly what you're doing. So step 5 is the telephone process. So once you've generated an inquiry, the next thing you need to do is follow that up. So give them a call, okay? Now we've got the script book there, so it's all written down. You can just read straight off the script, and that is what we do. And I did that for the first 2 years of being on this training system. And it saw me to gold and beyond, so it works. But you will learn through learning about the telephone process. You will get good on the phone. You will learn how to answer questions. You'll learn how to keep control of the conversation and how to handle objections and responses. Step 6 is showing the business. So for showing the business, we use an online presentation. So those of you who have joined recently, I'm sure you'll have gone through kind of like a telephone appointment where somebody went through the business, you were looking at it on screen and they were showing it to you. Did you know they were probably reading off a script? You might have known, you might not have known, but the important thing to understand is that you can do it, because we have a script for that whole appointment and you can just read straight off it. There are just 3 key elements to the appointment, showing the business. If they like you, they liked the videos and they know that they're going to get help and support, then they will join the business. So this is the really easy bit here, showing them. And, you know, not everybody will, and that is absolutely fine. You know, not everybody will join, but enough people will. Follow-up and online registration is step 7. So sometimes people don't immediately decide to join when you've gone through the appointment with them. We always ask, and it's really important to ask if they want to get started, because some people will, and if you don't ask the question, they won't. So always ask. But sometimes people need a bit of time to think about it, or they want to chat to their partner about it. And in that situation, just make sure that you follow up. Okay, you need to be following up within 24 hours. No one needs longer than that really to think about it, do they? And make sure that you ask what their decision is. So very, very simple to do. You're just asking for a yes or a no, and either will do. Now, we also have an email that we send as a follow-up after the appointment. So if you don't know how to find that, check with your sponsor. But again, that is all in the script book, so you can copy it straight from that script book. It's all there in black and white for you. Before I move on from this, getting people registered. Now, before you get people registered, it's really important to confirm that they are serious about the business, because honestly, you won't want every single person that you speak to join. You might think that you will if you're brand new. You might have an air of desperation even about you, but I promise you, you want the correct people to join your team. So before you let anyone join up, before you send them the registration link, make sure that you gain their commitment. Make sure that they understand that it is expected that they will plug into the weekly webinars and that they will be happy to attend the training events on a monthly basis. It's far easier to talk to people about attending events if you have already told them that they will need to do that. And if you're not doing that already, start to build that in to your registration and your follow-up. It will make a massive difference to your business. Step 8 is getting people started. So this is where we kind of pull our sleeves up and get to work, isn't it? So really important to get your new team members off to a quick start. So have a getting started session with them within 24 hours. Wherever possible. We always try to do that on Skype or on Zoom so that we can see each other. You can screen share and do that sort of thing if you know how. But really, you're trying to get to know your new starter, trying to find out what they want from the business, what commitments they've got, what they're working around, you know, what their challenges are, and you just want to help them to get off to a really good start. It's also a time to be reminding them about what they need to do, you know, remind them about the meetings, about the training sessions and how important that is. Connect up with them on Facebook straight away so that you can get them into the team support group and help them set up. We've got the Getting Started website, of course, at inspiredgroupresources.co.uk, but make sure that you are working with them on that so that they're understanding everything as they're going along. Check in their group, see how they're getting on, and make sure they know exactly what they need to be doing with their catalogues as well. And step 9 is the step that pays the big money in network marketing, promoting events. Once you have somebody in your team, the biggest favour you can do for them is encourage them to get along to a meeting, because at that point they will start to really understand what they've got their hands on. And unfortunately, until you get to a workshop or a big event, you honestly have no idea the potential of the business. So it's really important to have your new starters plug in as quickly as possible. I will have people who join a few days before an event get plugged in to it, because it's so important to get them along as quickly as possible. And if you can get good at promoting events, then you're going to be very, very successful, because that is the one thing that sets people apart. If you look at all of the top earners in network marketing, they have one thing in common, and that is their ability to effectively promote the events. Now, it is a skill, so like any other skill, it can be learned. I was completely useless when I first started in this business, promoting the events. I would make all the excuses for people, even though I had plenty of them myself. I would make up excuses. I was too far, you probably can't get a babysitter, you don't want to spend the £8.50, do you? So I would make all of the excuses for them. I was absolutely atrocious at promoting the events. But as I started to attend more of the events myself, I started to realise how absolutely vital they were to new people. And so that gave me a lot more belief in them and a lot more belief in the business. And it's that you need to work on. If you struggle to promote events, make sure that you're getting along to as many of them as you possibly can, because that will make you a far better promoter. And on that point, you can't promote effectively if you're not attending, okay? So it's got to start with you. If you're not attending the events, then don't expect your team member to attend, and promote them properly. So it's a whole training in this, but really it's not enough to just tell people about it. It's not enough to just tag them in a post on Facebook. You've got to be having a one-to-one conversation with your team members, helping them to understand the importance of the event, and helping them to get booked in. And your income is going to be a direct result of the number of people that you have attending the events. There's lots of examples of that, lots of factual examples, but I haven't got time to go into them. We'll do a full training on that at some point shortly. And the final step is coaching, duplication and leadership. And this is something that you learn in the process of building your business, but just know that anyone can be a good coach. Anyone can be a great leader, anyone can get duplication, and you will get better and better at these things as you go through the other steps and grow your business. When you're starting out, just help people to do what you're doing. Just teach your new team members what you already know, and be a signpost to all of the information. So direct them to the webinars, direct them to the workshops, direct them to the website, direct them to the team support group and the messenger chat, so that they can be learning for themselves, okay? You don't need to have any sort of skills or expertise in this. You will learn it all as you're going along. So just kind of watch what your sponsor does and just copy what they are doing. So as we mentioned, following that system, and I've gone through that really, really quickly. I would like to have had a bit more time, but that was a really kind of potted idea of the 10 steps system. But that's designed to get your income up to £1,200 to £1,500 a month within 3 to 6 months. And in the workbook, if you go and download that, you'll find there are competency levels as well, that you can tick off the things that you've already covered, so that you can see the progress that you're making. So what's your plan of action then? I would suggest that you commit to watching one of the videos on each of the steps, just one a day or one a week, just dependent on how much time you've got. Make sure you have got a copy of the workbook downloaded, and start to understand the competence levels so that you can start to see where you need to be going next. Definitely start reading the recommended books. I can't tell you how important that is. Honestly, some of those books will completely change your life. I can say that because that's happened for me and lots of people that I know. And be in touch daily with your sponsor. Now, some of you will have a sponsor who's brand new in the business, and to know that's great, because they have a sponsor who you should be in contact with as well, someone who's a bit more experienced. So make sure you know who's working with you, who's got the experience. be in touch with them daily so that they can keep you on track to achieve your goals, and they can help you with where to go for all of this information. Main thing is, book your next workshop. Know where it is. Check out the website. All the venues are on there. We're going to look at them in a moment as well. And book your next workshop. You will not regret it. And once you are on the system, at these workshops, they cover a few of these steps at each one. It's a different training at each one. So the idea is that you really get to grips with each of the steps over the course of 3 to 6 months. But you've got to be getting along to these regularly. It's also just great to meet the rest of the team. So in terms of upcoming events, I'm moving very swiftly because I know that we're short on time, but that was the training, so I hope it was helpful. We have the very, very final Clean Easy Live event in Dublin. So that's on the 24th of June. 10 steps workshops. We've just been talking about the 10 steps. So here are your 10-step workshop venues and the dates for the next ones. So if we can, I would really like those of you who are already booked in or already committed to some of these, just pop in the chat which ones you're going to be at so that we can get a feel and other people who are newer on here can see that people are plugging in and getting along to these, so you know you're not going to be there on your own. This is where you learn it all, okay? I can't cover it all in 10, 15 minutes, but these workshops absolutely do cover your nuts and bolts. Brilliant, well done guys, that's fantastic. So just have a look, make sure you know which one is your nearest one and get booked in. That's the website there, of course, at the bottom. So very quickly, Team Barbecue is coming up not too long now, next Saturday, 17th of June. So we look forward to seeing lots of you there. If you are planning on coming and you haven't yet told us, please do let us know so that we can make sure we're catering for the right number of people. And then, of course, we've got the Christmas Showcase on the 26th of June, already mentioned, at the ICC in Birmingham. Huge event. Major gala dinner afterwards for those who fancy a bit of a boogie. That's going to be a great day. It's also Vicky Hipkins' birthday the day before, so even more reason to celebrate. But this is an absolute must-attend event. The day event is full of training, full of inspiration, and will really see your business absolutely rocking into the Christmas season. You know, that is our biggest season of the calendar. It's where incomes are doubled, trebled, best incomes are received. So to be in and getting a part of that, just make sure you've got your ticket booked. So that brings me to the end, a bit later than planned. So apologies for that, but I hope you'll agree that it was worth it. Do stay in touch. Let me know any questions about the 10 steps, any questions about where to find the information. I'm here to answer them, so let me know. I'm going to play out with a video from Eric Worre that never